So after man's rebellion of God, God announced punishments to man. He told the man and the woman they should go through a lot. So despite the condemnation man got after rebelling against God, and Eve became very sinful, God told these two that they will face punishment. For example, he told the man to get something to eat, man will suffer, man will sweat. He told the woman that she will go through labor pain. So God punished the man after sinning him. He told them to leave the garden and he told them to go outside of the garden. He punished them. God could not hesitate punishing them because he had warned them never to sin. So if you want to get to know, you can read Genesis chapter 3. Go and open the book of Genesis and read and get to know how God punished these people. Take time, revise Genesis chapter 3, and you'll see what punishments, which level of punishment did God give the two creatures that annoyed Eve. Even the serpent was punished. By then the snake had legs, it could move, but God punished it. God told the snake, you will become an enemy to man, and told the man, you will become an enemy to snake. That's why none of you can see a snake and sits. You have to shout and run away from there. So better go and look for Genesis chapter 3 in the Bible and read about it, and you get to know about the punishment. So I want us to look at the man called Abraham briefly, and we talk about Abraham. Abraham was the most faithful servant of God. Abraham, God called him, telling him to leave whatever he heard behind to come and serve him. Abraham was a moon worshiper before God is called. He used to worship the moon, the appearance of the moon. But God called him, telling him to leave whatever he had behind. Abraham had a wife called Sarai, and he himself was called Abram. So God told him, leave whatever you have, change your name from Abram to Abraham, change your wife's name from Sarai to Sarah, leave everything you have behind, and go to the place that I'm going to send you to. So God told him to go in the challenging areas, that is Sodom and Gomorrah, where people had started to become too rebellious. They had started to sin. So God gave him promises. He told him, I will give you a son, because he realized that Abraham was having a challenge of, he was looking for a son. Then God gave him a son, and he told him to name him Isaac. So Isaac was Abraham's son that he got from Sarah. At the age, these people were at the age, they were old. So, but God gave them a miracle, and they were able to give birth. So God gave Abraham a promise of getting him many people who will follow him. And this was fulfilled by Moses when he liberated these people from the land of slavery, that is in Egypt, under King Pharaoh. That is in the book of Exodus. So God told Abraham to make a covenant with him, which we call the Abrahamic covenant. So God made a covenant with Abraham. A covenant is an agreement between two or more people. So God made a covenant with Abraham, and this covenant involved the sacrifices. God made a sacrifice with Abraham. He told him, come with a bull, which is healthy, without defect, and the birds. He told him to come with the birds. Still, these birds had to be healthy. He told him to slaughter this bull and make these parts face opposite each other. So, and he told him to slaughter one bird, and he corrected the blood. Then he told him, let one of the birds to fly away. Then make these halves that you've divided to face opposite each other and lay them on the altar. So when Abraham did this, unfortunately, time came and he went into a deep sleep. So as Abraham went into a deep sleep, vultures came to eat up this meat. But Abraham woke up and he chased these vultures away. From there, dozing light came like that of a torch, and he appeared on the slaughtered halves. And when Abraham saw this, since God had told him that once you see this, it is a sign that I, the Lord, am present. So this showed Abraham that God is now in place, is present. So God told him, that will now show you that I, the Lord, have sealed a covenant with you. So from Abraham's covenant, we got another covenant called the Mosaic covenant, which was between Moses, God, and the people of Israel on Mount Sinai. So Abraham, after he accepted everything, he left him on worshiping, he accepted to go and serve the Lord that he didn't know, he accepted to change the name from Abram to Abraham, he accepted to change the name of the wife from Sarai to Sarah, but he didn't know the Lord he was serving, because from his childhood he was worshiping the moon, but he accepted to let everything behind and follow the Lord who had called him. So Abraham, from there, he is considered to be the grandfather of all nations and the most faithful servant of God, because he left everything to go and serve the person he didn't know. So from Abraham we got the nation of Israel. It is from Abraham that we got Israel nation. So the Israelites were the promised people. These are the people that God had promised Abraham. These are the people that were in the land of slavery that God told Moses to go and rescue. Pharaoh had tortured them, had taken them to be slaves, but God told him, go and bring them here. But this is the time when Moses had killed a slave master in Egypt. So after killing the slave master, Moses was afraid of going back to Egypt. So God called him on Mountain Sinai, telling him to come and go back to the land where he had committed a sin. Remember, Moses grew from Pharaoh's palace. But the story about that, we shall go into details. Moses was born by a Hebrew woman. But by the time Moses was born, they were looking for the firstborn children. Remember, they had decided to pass the message of the coming of the Messiah. So King Pharaoh never wanted someone to be called a king. He wanted himself to be the only king. So he ordered his soldiers to go and look for all people who are pregnant, those who gave birth, everyone is having a firstborn. Told them, kill all of them. Maybe you will end up killing the Messiah within those people. So his mother decided to go and hide him in the bush. She got the basket and he placed Moses inside the basket. That is the story. And from there, he picked the basket, he pressed the basket on water. So it moved on the river. So as the Pharaoh's daughter had gone to swim, as she was swimming, a basket came and the servants saw the basket. And she told them to bring the basket. On her opening the basket, she saw the princess. Saw a beautiful, a handsome baby in the basket. Then she was like, as this baby is nice looking, and she named the baby Moses. And this name carries a meaning, pulled out of water. So she gave Moses the name because this name was trying to explain where she got Moses. So she carried Moses and she took Moses in the palace. So Moses grew in the palace as a royal son, a royal grandson to King Pharaoh. But Moses was not from the line of Pharaoh. But Moses got the chance of studying and learning military tactics within Pharaoh's army. But one day, as one of the slave masters was beating up the slave, Moses was annoyed and decided to kill this man, and he decided to hide him in the sand. So as he was doing this, one of the soldiers saw him and he called the others to come and see what Moses has done. So when they took this report to King Pharaoh ordered for Moses' arrest. Moses decided to run away from Egypt. But as he came to this side, he got a chance and he married. He got a wife, but as he was looking after his in-laws' flock, one of the sheep left the line and he moved another side. So Moses went there to pick it, and from there, God called him. He saw a bush, which was not burning bush incident. You can go there and read it in Exodus. So he saw a burning bush incident. So when God called him, he saw a burning bush incident, and God called him by names. Moses, Moses, remove the sandals. You're standing on a holy land. I am the Lord of your ancestor Abraham. I'm sending you to Pharaoh. I want you to rescue my people. Then Moses rejected. He said, no, I can't go back there. Not until God made promises to him, telling him to throw his stick down. The story is too long, but at least we can get to know who Moses is. So Moses, from there, he went, first to Pharaoh. God told him to go with his brother Aaron to act as his spokesman because Moses was a stammerer. He could not speak. God told him, your brother will help you to act as your spokesman. Then from there, Moses was able to liberate these people, but it was after the Exodus event, the Passover event, That was the last day the Israelites had in the land of Egypt, where they killed the firstborn child of all, be it an animal or a human being in Egypt. That's where even Pharaoh's son died, because he was the first son. So he was the firstborn. So he died, and the Pharaoh, because of the hunger, he told them, go away from my land, but still he kept chasing them until when they met at what they call the Red Sea. And from the Red Sea, Moses hit the stick and they crossed the sea and they went to another side. Then the story is like that. So from there, Moses became the liberator of the Israelites, and this fulfilled God's promises to Abraham of giving him many descendants. That's where the society of Israel started. The Israelites, it is from there that now God brought them to Canaan, and from Canaan they splintered into groups, and from there they started to demand for physical kings. So they decided to disobey and disappoint God who liberated them. So Moses, that's why many of the Jews and the Judaist community, they respect Moses more than Jesus, because for them they take Jesus to be their liberator, who at least helped them to live the life they are living. So that's why they also criticize him to be the author of the Pentateuch. They criticize him to be the author of the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, that is Genesis, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Numbers, and the other books of the Old Testament. So that is the story about Israel as the chosen nation, as the elects of God. So you can read through these notes and get more information, and also if you want to understand it better pick the Bible and at least you reflect, or you read as you refer to the Bible. That will give you more information about this. For example, if they tell you Genesis chapter 37, verse 9, you go and read there. Genesis chapter 37, verse 6 to 7, go and read there. That will help you to understand more and more about Israel as the chosen nation of God.